IvyCamp Ventures is a venture capital fund based out of Mumbai. It is driven by the IIT-IM alumni, and the IIT Alumni Trust is a core investor. We are now into our third fund. We recently did a first closing at about 1,600 crore. Our deal flow primarily comes to the IIT-IM alumni network. IvyCamp was launched by IvyCap to kind of take this one step further, to move one step earlier in the food chain, as you may say. So we work with earlier stage founders, work with accelerators, incubators, primarily from the goal of helping founders grow, accelerate, scale. And we do that through a number of engagements that we do directly either with the founders or connect them to corporate organizations, run POCs, help them network. And this startup showcase is one type of event that we do on a monthly basis now, as a way for the founders to engage with some of the corporate innovators. And today, I'm very happy to welcome some of our corporate mentors from Cisco, Schneider, and Accenture. So welcome everybody. And we have three founders presenting to us today. And since we're short on time, I would like to kind of immediately jump to our first founder, Preksha from Alpha.ai. So Preksha, over to you. I think you have about 10 to 15 minutes to present, and then we'll open it up to questions from the attendees. Preksha, over to you.
Thank you, Anju. Thank you, IvyCamp team and all the panelists that are present today. I'm just going to share my screen very quickly. I hope it's visible.
Not as yet, Preksha.
Not yet. Is it visible now?
Yes, it's visible now. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I'm Preksha Kaparwan. I am CM and co-founder for Alpha AI, and this is the decade of AI. You heard the name, artificial intelligence being used with multiple products in today's age, but we are one of the few products which can give you power to create something like this by just asking a few questions. Within few seconds, you won't believe me till the time I show you the actual product, I know. But believe me when I say that AI that is usable is what Alpha AI is after. And we have answered questions of 10,000 users from Fortune 50 and Fortune 500 companies and CDS within last 5 months. And what we exactly did was we helped them answer questions on the enterprise data by just asking simple questions and help them create beautiful charts and reports. Now, why we are doing this? Because everybody needs data. When I say that there is no tech to access data, no business can make report, no one even attempts, and Excel is their best bet. I am talking about the business side of an enterprise. I'm not talking about the IT and analytics teams who have plenty of products and BI tools that they can use. But are these tools something your business team comfortable using? So what happens? Where business users are using SAP, Salesforce, HubSpot, Zendesk kind of products, and there are over 1 billion users of these products, they still fall back for data on their IT teams. They can use all these hundreds of products out there, but yet to take the data out of it and make sense of it, they are still falling back to their product teams. Now, this concludes that the reporting in business is broken because it's not being given to the business directly. It's coming through teams, which is molding the data, which is creating the report. And whenever the business have another question, they are going back and doing the 1, 2, 3 steps again. However, only 5% of the business community is actually very comfortable using tools like Tableau, Click, Power BI. You very well know that these are one of the most popular, a few of the most popular BI tools with market share of almost 23%. So what do 95% of business users use? They use Excel. That means 850 million users are using Excel for reporting. So this is what a typical decision on data looks like for a business user. So business user asks their data team to collate some reports. Data team takes 2 weeks to 2 months, depending upon what kind of work they have that day or what kind of tools they are using. They go back to business team with one version of report, and business team says that I needed to ask a few more questions. Can you change it? Then cycle begins again. Then finally, business team says that give me the data in Excel itself. And then the decision making, which had to happen on data, is not happening the way it's supposed to be, but the data is being adjusted to suit the decision which has been made because they could not wait so long. So what we are doing is that we are introducing beautifully simple search-driven analytics with Alpha AI. I'll show you a quick demo. This is what Alpha AI today looks like. We are coming up with a new version in maybe a week or so. But this will show you the beauty of what AI-driven analytics can bring for you on table. On the left side, if you see, there is a Tableau dashboard. So someone must have created this dashboard by, some analyst must have created it by putting together all the data and figuring out which charts would work best. Let me show you how you can make this in Alpha AI. What is my sales by subcategory? Let me expand this so that you can see that because of my list, it did not hear sales, but face. But because of our dynamic semantic engine, it understands that what are the KPIs present in your data. I'm going to pin this. I'm going to ask another question. Let me just change this to sales so that it looks nice. For Texas. Okay, I can ask, what was my sales and profit for categories? Now it has showed me both the things, sales and profit side by side. Now I can take a category like furniture and drill down by, let's say, product and pin this piece. Okay, now let me show you where I was pinning these to. I was pinning it to my dashboard. This is what I've created just in a few seconds. And now I'm going to present it. So that means I don't have to get my teams to work on a report that I need today. And that means that I can simply present it by asking questions. And if something goes, seems like off and I want something else, I can still go back and ask another question and present it directly. So what we have done, we have bridged the gap of 2 hours, 2 weeks to 2 months to 2 hours to 2 weeks in extreme cases. But honestly, the customers who are using it today, they just take a few seconds to actually get to the answer that they're looking for. This is a little bit about our traction. We have 5 paying customers. These are enterprise customers. We launched 9 months back. Our revenue is to $50,000 as of now. We have a pipeline of $4.3 million. Actually, it's not updated yet. And we have a very big community of citizen data scientists who understand how to connect data to dollar. They are on LinkedIn and different platforms. And this community gives us a monthly reach of 2.2 million monthly. We are measured against Tableau, Power BI, and ThoughtSpot. While the traditional BI market stands at $67.2 billion, you must have heard of something called augmented analytics today. That is the field that we are playing in, and that market is $18.43 billion. And the only player there is ThoughtSpot. At certain place, we have given ThoughtSpot a very good competition where the client has considered both the product and went with Alpha AI. We have charge $25,000 for our POCs. All our POCs are paid, especially because our team is small and we are trying to give our best, trying to fight against these big giants who are $15 billion and $4 billion big companies. This is me. I am Preksha, and I have worked a lot on the branding and marketing of the product. I am also a TEDx speaker, Makers India. I'm a LinkedIn top voice, and my technology partner is Saurabh Moody, who has built companies before into data itself. And today we both run the company called Alpha AI. Thank you.
Thanks, Preksha. Let me just kick it off with one question before I turn it over.
Sure.
Why would I, as a company, buy your product? I mean, BI, analytics, I mean, these have been out there for years. I mean, the market is like flooded. I'm like, struggling for choice. So why
Absolutely.
you?
Why me is because in past 3 decades, your product has not changed. There is Tableau, there's Power BI, there is ClickSense in the market, which are the leaders. Most of the larger enterprises would buy these products because this is what consultants suggested. Now, the consultants they will give you it as a part of bundle of a larger deal where they are doing the BI, they are creating the report for you, and then they will ask your business team to involve their MIS team. I'm saying that that is a longer path. What you need today in the times like this is you get your campaign data today, you have to take the action by evening. You are not going to wait for your teams to pull down the report and then build insight on it. For business users, this is the easy part. For leadership, let's say you are CMO for a company and you are trying to understand that how did my campaigns on different platforms did today. This is all you have to ask. So it's a better upgrade than the previous tools that were meant for analysts and not for business users.
Okay, thanks. Let me give the other folks on the panel a chance to ask questions.
Thank you, Anju.
Okay.
Malini, you want to go first?
No, go ahead. No problem, Shruti.
Sure. So I think I would love this, as a leader, as a person who is preparing the reports as well. I think this is super, super handy. My question is more on the lines of, other frameworks like conversational AI, which is coming up. And how are you looking at integration or complementing what conversational AI is bringing to the table?
So there are two ways people interpret conversational AI. One is that you are being able to converse with the machine to get an output, which we also have implemented. You can ask questions in like vocal and it will answer. There's another conversational AI that definition talks about that how you convert unstructured conversation data and figure out insights out of that. So right now we are working on structured data and we are creating SQL queries from NLP. It is our proprietary engine. And this is one of the fastest engines in the world. I can say that with certain confirmation because we have spoken to a Google Home COO around this technology. And the unstructured data, it is in the pipeline. We will be probably after a year start looking and converting conversation and creating insights out of that.
Which means that you're able to read from tables and laid out data. But, for example, if I had, say, support function, thousands and millions of emails exchanges, so we're not yet ready or there to take data from that and ingest it.
That we are not interested in it as of now.
Okay.
We have tested, of course, we have tested a lot of things, but that is not the way we see this going because this seems like a more urgent problem to solve, getting structured data and like, getting answer out of that.
Okay, one last question from me is with respect to your sector focus, because this can be applied across sectors, but do you have like a top 3 list that you're looking at?
Yes, we are looking at BFSI, CPG, like kind of retail. So these two that we are working currently with, and healthcare is one industry that we are in talks with, like a couple of clients over there.
All right. Thank you, Preksha.
Absolutely.
All right, Preksha, my question for you, I have 2 questions. One is you demonstrated that once when you were speaking, I think the tool interpreted it as a different I think the fails was taken in, but then it corrected, which is very smart. How do you see this going for different languages other than English? Have you thought about that?
We are, this works with Arabic and Hindi as of now. And
Okay.
we have also tested it with Japanese because they are, our clients are global, so they have demand from different units all over the globe. So we have tested those things, but like now what's happening here is when I said sales and because of my list, it heard fails. and it tried to correct it to close a possible word because of NLP. But there's an NLP layer, and then there is a dynamic semantic engine. That the domain knowledge engine, that what it does is it looks in the domain and sees that what is available in the domain. That will happen in any language, because what we are doing is we are just reading the words while ignoring the grammar. So all the nouns should work for each language.
Okay. Great. So my next question is from the business side, right? Like Shruti rightly mentioned, it looks really wow, okay, to be able to generate this kind of a visualization just by speaking to a certain tool, right? How do you convince companies that, because this is not very tangible, right? I mean, yes, you're saying that you can reduce from 2 weeks to 2 hours. What do I from the number game, what do I get as my savings, right? Saying if I do this, what are my savings, and what part of that savings am I ready to reinvest in a software like yours?
Sure. So right now, let's say like you must be using some kind of tool to do your reports, right? So there is a team involved which has invested in license of Tableau or Power BI, and this usually goes upwards of $500,000, because you consider the cost of team as well, which is doing this for you, preparing these sheets again and again. Let's not look at just the time which is being saved, but the time to decision that is being saved. So you getting a report is one side of the deal, but there is one sentence I did know, it was written over there that you have to make decision based on data, not modify data for decisions. So today, if you want an answer, and as a leader, you had a thought like, I want to do this. Okay, what was the sales for this particular region? Then the guy says, okay, ma'am, I'll have to check, and I'll ask them, my team, they will create a report and give you all the details. So now, as a leader, your thought has hit it. Now you are not looking at it anymore. Now you have moved on to the next decision, right? So which happens very often. You would recognize it happening to you as well a lot of times, right?
So my question is, how will you capitalize on that aspect, right? Because how would you convince the leaders to say that, okay, this is what you're going through, and this is what are the losses that you incur because you don't do fast decision, and this is how my tool is going to help you?
So what happens usually when we are connecting with a client, our first discovery calls helps us answer these questions. We are trying to see that why have they invested $500,000 in a tool, and what kind of reports they are looking at. Now, once you say that I would like to have a demo with you, I would like to work with you, we say that, okay, we have a team of data scientists, which will help you analyze that, how can this be configured better. So that is one part of the thing. But then again, at the same time, them getting the feel, the confidence that they can arrive to those reports or those answers themselves, that helps them in the first part. And there is a reason they have invested that kind of money in any other BI tool, right? Okay. There is a reason. So we say that, like, you can keep using it and you can try Alpha AI. And then after 1 week, they will be like, okay, do we really need this first tool, or we can just use this? Okay. So that's kind of validation for us.
Your GTM, your go-to-market strategy is something that will allow them to play with it and then convince themselves and then come back.
It's a paid pilot. We help them arrive to that.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you, Preksha. All the best.
Thank you.
I'm mindful of time here, but related question, Preksha, is whom do you usually sell to within the business? Because you just mentioned that this is, of course, more for business leaders, but these decisions are usually taken by the ones owning the analytics tools. So whom do you typically sell to?
So in my experience, what has happened with us, we created a very good branding on LinkedIn, and mostly leaders reach out, business leaders reach out to us. They see the product, they see that's something they want to use, and then they involve their analytics team. So because this investment happens from the business side in most of the cases. So if they want a tool, they involve analytics and IT team to understand if this product will work with their infrastructure, and if this tool, just vet the tool. But mostly the decision makers are on the business side for us.
Understood. And related question, since you mentioned paid pilots. So typically, how long does it take for you to start showing value? And I understand that you may have already done your engines for existing data sets around sales, profit, revenue, etc. But a completely different company with new data sets, typically, how much time does it take for you to set it up?
So, to reach to set up a demo, to show the first cut, it takes us 48 hours. That is one of the things that we do. Like in 48 hours, you give us a new data set. We keep it 48 hours because we also want to test it before we show it to you.
Mhm.
And it can go in production within 3 weeks of that.
Okay.
And let's say that for each business leader, there is a separate, different way of asking question. Let's say I call it revenue, you call it sales, someone else call it my category performance. Okay. So you can simply just, modify that word or add a synonym by yourself at your end. It will not change it for everyone, but it will be specific to you.
Understood. And how big is your team, Preksha? Because you did mention a lot of citizen
Data scientists.
Yes, data scientists, sorry. So what about your core team?
So our core team right now is 16. We are adding another 7 this month in March. And we are a growing team, so we are hiring.
Understood. Okay, thank you. That's it from my side.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Sorry, I know we're running kind of against the clock. So if you have any more questions for Preksha, please feel free to forward that to us and we will share them. Thank you so much, Preksha, for taking the time. Good luck to you and your co-founder.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye. Wanted to introduce our next founder, Vijeta, who is going to be talking about her startup, Skiata. Vijeta, please, over to you. Go ahead.
Thanks, Anju. Thank you so much. Should I start presenting right away, or do you want me to introduce myself first?
Why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hello, everyone, and thanks to IvyCamp and all who have helped us come here to present our company to everyone. I'm Vijeta Soni. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Sciative Solutions. We are India's first company to do end-to-end price optimization. A little about me: I'm a alum of IIM Bangalore. I've done my second master's from University of Houston in human technology and consumer sciences. Basically, I love to understand how humans use technology and how to make technology fun for them, so that they can absorb it and they can use it more often. Um, I have worked across various industries. Before starting Sciative, I have over 14 years of work experience in education, in manufacturing, retail, e-commerce, and also publishing houses. My last company was Reliance Industries. I was the Vice President of Technology and Innovations with Mr. Mukesh Ambani, part of his chairman's office. That's a little about me. And
go ahead, Vijeta. Please.
So I'll be sharing my screen. If you see it, please let me know.
Yes, we can see the screen. If you, yeah, we can.
Super. So hello everyone. I'm representing Sciative Solutions. We are, as I said, we are India's first company. We are solely into pricing and pricing related intelligence. We are helping every company that has a price tag attached to their product and service. We help them price right. So we are here to lead the dynamic pricing revolution globally. Before I start talking about the product, certain value leaks and challenges which we usually see in different companies over the period of our experience, we have seen that companies across industries are changing. They are seeing a lot of challenges, a lot of value leaks. So some of these challenges I would like to mention over here. So very recent study has showed that over 83% of the online shoppers do price comparison before purchase decision, and pretty sure most of us do that. For OEMs and retailers, less than 40% of their inventories are actually slow moving in items. They are lying in their go downs unattended. Travel industry is leaking more than $300 billion annually due to incorrect pricing. A lot of value leak happening. I mean, Indian Railways is one of the classic examples where flat pricing, whether it is a Diwali season or a lean season, you have the same price. There is a huge amount of value leak across the industry, which is happening. Cinema halls, even pre-COVID, this percentage is pre-COVID percentage. Cinema halls run at an annual occupancy rate of less than 25%, which means 75% of halls globally remain empty. Uh, they wait for a good movie to come in, but remaining times they are just empty. So these value leaks happen across industries, and there are various reasons. So some of the reasons which I have listed over here is, as I have seen, right, the underutilized capacities of the inventories. People don't use as much as they have built. Companies are underpricing their products and they're losing margin opportunities. Some companies are overpricing their products and they're losing on their sales opportunities. Incorrect pricing due to very poor forecasting skills. I mean, by forecasting skills, not in terms of manual forecasting, but the automation and the speed at which forecasting is required today is, and that leads to incorrect planning. Poor levels of customer retention by not keeping in pace with the market dynamics, which are changing very frequently. So these value leaks, majority of them can be fixed with right price. Often people just look at price as a number on the product, but actually price is a game which is played within the mind of the user. I mean, of the potential customer. So pricing can help plug many of these value leaks directly and indirectly. So pricing processes and tools across industries have not kept up to speed. I mean, we say that the airline pricing is really dynamic, but we have seen the way airlines price, it's still very dated. What used to happen 40 years ago, right? Many times, same algorithm, similar pace is happening today itself as well. So we are here to fix that. So, but today's world is very different. We need to understand that the velocity in which things are changing. Organizations talking about 9-minute, 10-minute deliveries, flash sales are happening on a fly, fast fashion, short product life cycle. The velocity which industries are seeing is very, very unique as we speak. There is tsunami of brands and product choices which customers are spoiled with. Access to customer behavior data, it's beautiful. I mean, there is a lot of access, a good amount of data which is available, but not a lot of decision related insights and recommendations happen on that. There is near real-time information which is available on competition, but very less time it is actually used to take the right decision at the right time. Organizations are going omni-channel, more sources of data and more operational challenges, dimensions which are coming in. Personalization capabilities, organizations lack those capabilities to a very large extent. So when we talk about hyper personalization, this is what the capability that we are speaking about. And this is a widespread problem. So pricing is a widespread problem across various industries. Sciative as a company, which is a amalgamation of two words, science and creative, we want to creatively solve these scientific problems which lie in businesses. So we are enabling organizations fix the problem of incorrect pricing through artificial intelligence by creating highly scalable and highly successful pricing solutions which are very automated. Okay. So we price right. We are India's first end-to-end AI-powered price optimization company. We are not just focused on one industry. We are into multiple industries. Retail, e-commerce, travel, entertainment. Our SaaS solutions, our products are already deployed and live here. We are expanding into B2B as well. A little background about us. We are a founding team of 2 members. Currently, we are 40 members strong. Dr. Anshu is the one who is the mind of pricing. So the intelligence and the science comes from Dr. Anshu. He is a BTech from IIT Delhi, a department topper. He has done his PhD in dynamic pricing and revenue management from Texas A&M University. Core strengths, of course, scientific modeling, dynamic pricing, search pricing, revenue optimization. He has worked for more than 22 years before we opened up Sciativ. In his last role, he was at Starbucks as the global director of pricing strategy based out of Seattle. He has worked across other industries as well. I use the example of airline and 40-year-old airline pricing. Dr. Anshu was the chief scientist. He was working, he was a pricing scientist working at Pros Revenue Management. Pros is the company which actually brought dynamic pricing in the airline industry. So he started his career there in US. He has worked in Reliance. He loves to be in the education industry. He has dedicated 1 year of his life as the professor of pricing and marketing at Nursi Munji as well. So that is Dr. Anshu. That's me, Vijeta. I've already given a brief about myself. I have worked across various sectors. I love to solve problems. So while Dr. Anshu brings in the pricing science, I bring in more from the technology side, designing platform architectures which are highly scalable, because at Sciativ, we are doing 5 billion price optimizations on a daily basis. A massive scale architecture is required for us to do our work. Here are some of our customers. Since we are very unique in what we do, and we try to solve real business problems and try to plug the value leaks, we build products around those problems. Some of these companies, as in retail, we're working very closely with Licious, Tata Chroma, Vijay Sales, Nykaa, Borders. There is this company called Qpang, which is based out of South Korea. It's like Flipkart of South Korea. We are working with them for fixing their value leaks when it comes to their pricing part. Artisa is a US-based organization. We are working closely with them. Wonder Chef. We have a very big presence in the travel industry as well. So as you see, the Ola, Uber prices go up and down depending on multiple dimensions that varies during the day. We do a very similar work in the travel bus, luxury bus coach industry. So more than 30% of the luxury coaches, intercity bus coaches, which are currently on the road, they are priced by us. So this Intercity Rail Yatri is a company funded by Mr. Nandan Nilkarni, and their complete fleet is being priced by us, a very brilliant startup. We are pricing for Ford Smart Mobility, Hans Travels, Srinath. So majority of the top luxury bus companies are being priced by us. In addition to travel, we are into entertainment, as I said. Star TV, for that complete network, we are taking care of their dynamic pricing of advertisement slots. So we have a product called Pulse, which has been created for the entertainment industry, which does pricing for advertisement slots. And just before COVID, we were getting involved into the cinema side as well. So our product for cinema is ready. We are just waiting for this industry to come back, and we would love to do dynamic pricing for the cinemas as well. So as I spoke, we love to build products, but so our products are all powered by artificial intelligence, and they are automated products to make sure that we are able to achieve the scale at which we promise to deliver the pricing capabilities. So Brio.ai is a product which we have for retail. Viaj.ai is for travel. They primarily do extensive amount of demand forecasting. We do a lot of promotion planning. For pricing, it is also very important to understand the market, right? So we have built very strong market intelligence capabilities and built products for doing market intelligence as well. So Brio Lite, which is like a smaller version of Brio, is mainly for marketplace health tracking for various of our retail clients. We do get involved into customer sentiments, brand intelligence and market trends, assortment intelligence. All of these become a very important part when it comes to pricing. In addition to this, when we enter into any new industry, we enter uh, through collaborations with data science services. So as we are entering into the B2B pricing industry, we are working very closely with some of the logistics companies and with education, international education companies. So here we provide our data science capabilities with our complete objective of creating product for this industry. our 4 pillars of strength: automation, artificial intelligence, big data. While that is there, the major pillar for us is pricing domain expertise. We really understand how pricing happens. So, I mean, till date, every single proof of concept that we have done, we have scored that client, we have won that client. So our products really work. People are able to see the difference in their revenues and their numbers. Our journey has, so we started in 2015. We registered that time, but we were just trying to understand how the Indian industry works like. So we were taking a lot of consulting projects, working across various industries. Then in 2018 we built our first pseudo product, which is called Cypos for retail, and that's when we had around 12 people. In 2019 we grew to around 18 people, and that's when we launched Viaj.ai, and that's how our trajectory actually started in scaling up the products. So then we created a television ad product called Pulse, and then 2021 in the COVID times, we actually enhanced Cypos, and we made it into a highly scalable product called Brio. Brio and Brio Lite were developed that time, and that's when we had around 40 people. Today we have around 44, 48 people in our team, which is not inclusive of any interns. And by end of 2022, this year December, we should be having around 100 folks, and that's when we are scaling up with Deals Loca, which is our B2B. And by 2025, of course, we hope and we are very much gearing towards becoming the next unicorn in the area of AI. We have won the national award, level next, as India's top 10 most promising and innovative startups in the area that we are working in, by FICCI and PwC. We were aired in CNBC multiple times. We have also won recently the Entrepreneur India Award for the travel product which we have. And yeah, that's a little synopsis about what we do. I would love to get deeper into how we help companies, but I would love to take that through questions.
Vijeta, I'm resisting the urge to kind of hold my question and go next. But, one thing that really, really did come is, this is a fantastic place to be in. But I heard multiple times that you got your pricing strategy right. But as a listener, I didn't understand how you got your pricing strategy right. And how do I know that it is right?
So the pricing intelligence. So Dr. Anshu and we are basically complementing each other. While I come from the technology background, he has a very strong pricing background. So more than 22 years of his life, he has just done pricing. He's a PhD in dynamic pricing and revenue management. He has priced products from handbags to airplanes to even casinos. So he's done pricing, and in fact, with Miss.
So Vijeta, sorry to interrupt, but it might be helpful if there's a quick minute, case study. You can say how did you actually kind of improve the pricing? If you can do that in 60 seconds. I mean, it seems you have a really powerful team, but to make it more real for us.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I would actually love to do a demo as well, but I don't think so. We have enough time, so let me just quickly go through so where I can let me just quickly go through a case study. Just give me a second.
Even if you could just kind of talk through it really quickly, it'll just help make it more real.
Sure. Let me just take you to the travel case study, because that's where we see results very quickly. Just give me a second. So our live product, when it so this is a live case study that we had noticed in 2019 when the product was just launched. There is this bus which was going from Raipur to Hyderabad through and we there were certain buses which were of the operator, which was in the proof of concept. One of their buses, which was not on dynamic pricing, is the 3 p.m. bus, and the dynamic pricing bus is the 4 p.m. bus, right? So when we took up the dynamic pricing bus, here is the historical side, where during the non-dynamic pricing period, which is from August to November. And in November, we started the dynamic pricing. If you see, the non-dynamic pricing bus was always performing much better in terms of revenue. So it was performing at least 15 to 25% better than the non-dynamic pricing bus, right? So then we took up this bus into our control, and the other bus was manually priced exactly how it was being priced by the operator and their pricing analysts. We started to see that gradually the revenues of the dynamic pricing bus, which is very close. I mean, 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock are very close timelines. Our buses started to increase in terms of its revenues, while there was a slight increase which was seen in the 3 p.m. bus as well, which is there is some kind of seasonality in the month of November which was seen. So that, but we were able to hike our revenues much beautifully compared to the already better performing bus. In the month of December ending in January, the market actually slumped down, and with help of dynamic pricing, where there was no manual effort which was put in, while we did see a slump of revenue come in, the steepness of revenue slump was much lower compared to the steepness of slump which was seen by the other bus, and the market saw even deeper cut in terms of revenues. Here is the number of seats which were sold. So as the dynamic pricing bus started to come in, right, we were able to bring in much higher number of seats sold, and we were able to almost be at par with the number of seats which were being sold, and we were selling at a higher prices as well, right? So this is how we were able to increase the average selling price, I mean the ASPs of the bus seats as well, right? So
So is
overall,
this, from a technology standpoint, is it more of a real-time intervention that you're introducing
yes.
into a system, or is it API-based engagement with the platform? What is your modality of engagement?
So what we do is we do integration. So whether it is retail or travel, we do a direct integration with the client's technology. I mean, whatever database they are using, we do a API based integrations. And on a live basis, we start getting data from the client. In the travel industry, what we do is we are not just doing recommendation of prices, which we usually do in retail. In travel, we not only recommend a price, but we also make the price change happen. So our prices go live every 15 minutes. Our optimizations are happening, and our prices are going live directly on Redbus. So if there is any bus operator or bus company which is working with Sciatul, our algorithms are looking into 83 unique parameters, and these unique parameters are starting from the route's historical performance to the current market dynamics. So we are understanding more than 850 routes in India. Every 15 minutes we are reading those routes, and we are trying to understand the demand and supply modalities in that. And with every price optimization, 83 unique parameters are being considered, and the price is optimized and made live. So system read, price optimization, and prices going live. That is the scale at which our travel platform is working. When it comes to retail,
Sorry, I was just coming to retail, but how does this work for a brand with omni-channel kind of operations? Because dynamic pricing would work well for an online kind of a presence, right? How do you tie offline bit?
so for example, we do work with the offline players as well. Some of the large brand, I mean, big electronics brands in India, we work with them. So while in travel and e-commerce, the pace of price change is much higher compared to offline. We do work with offline in terms of price optimizations on a weekly basis, because from a logistics perspective, changing prices in the stores is not possible on a daily basis. So we do a weekly price optimization for them. In addition to that, we also help them in terms of their markdown and liquidation of inventories. So their regular promotions, which is happening on their websites, is all taken care of by us. Even in terms of customer personalization. So if there are any specific set of customers who are either in-store customers or an online customer for a client, we work very closely with the clients to maximize their ticket size and upgrade them to the higher level. So we do that. So markdown, price optimization to liquidations, to regular business as usual promotions, and customer segmentation personalization is something which we work with to maximize the revenues in the retail sector.
Is it a SaaS model? Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, go
Oh,
ahead.
That's right.
Just finish. Yeah.
no, please. Done.
You're done. Okay.
That's
So,
right. It is a SaaS model, actually.
Yeah.
Vijita, I have a question with respect to, you mentioned you cater to several segments, and all these segments, of course, have different parameters based on which you propose the dynamic pricing, right?
Absolutely.
And you also showed us an architecture in which I saw there were some common blocks and there were something which was very bespoke.
Yes.
How much percentage, is very common, and how much time do you take to bring out your first solution for a new segment? And how are you looking at scaling? How many segments will you cover? What's
Sure.
your scaling plan?
So Sciativ as a whole, close to 65% of the revenues which we get is coming from um, direct SaaS implementations, wherein we don't have to. It's our team which directly goes and deploys certain problems are very common. So we just do that deployment. There are certain unique cases in some industries, especially retail and the entertainment side, where the problems are very unique. Like, for example, if we are working with Licious, which has highly perishable inventory, compared to Tata Chroma, which, I mean, the inventory has much longer life, or with Maruti, which is at a very different. So there are certain uniqueness which comes in, and that's when our bespoke model starts kicking in. But our objective, Malini, there is to make sure that how do we automate this. Initially, are around 3 to 4 months, depending on the complexity of the problem, is there to create a model and create a solution, and then after that it runs all by itself.
Okay. All right.
In travel, we take, so if there is a new client, if there is a new company which wants to start using our travel solution, it takes barely 4 hours for us to onboard that client. Across India, we have integrations with all sorts of uh, uh, tech systems from where the data is fetched, so we are able to onboard them in 4 hours.
Okay. And so you're open to any segment, is it? Any segment that needs a dynamic pricing solution. Is
That's
that
right.
the
So,
model?
but right now our focus is on B2B. So while retail and travel and entertainment is all sorted out, we are working very closely with some very large corporations in creating products for the B2B segment, and that's where the real market lies.
Okay.
One last
But
question. So current.
we are open.
Archel, can we just make sure Tina gets in a question? I just want to make sure if
Sorry.
she has any questions.
Sure, Tina, please go ahead.
No, I also wanted to delve a bit deeper into the commercial model. So you mentioned SaaS, but for each company, are you pricing it based on the number of users or number of times that your API is getting called? How does it work?
Yeah. So Tina, in the travel side, if a bus company or a travel company wants to work with us, we do a revenue share model, where we take a fixed percentage of the GMV. When it comes to the retail side, our revenue model is more driven towards the the price points which are optimized. So say, for example, if it's a very large company which has like 24 lakh products, so it's going to be the number of price points that we are optimizing for them.
Okay, I was actually interested in your ad slots, the pricing product for the ad slots, because I think that's a very different and difficult ball game. So just trying to understand How do you price it there? And what is your commercial model there?
There it is. So these ad slot commercial currently, so we have exclusivity with the Star Group in India,
Okay.
but in international waters we are absolutely open. So with Star Group we have a consulting model, so we are, but yes, in international we are figuring out what kind of commercial models are going to work out, because the same we want to apply into the OTT side. So we are working with Star on how to get this in the OTT side of Star.
All right. Thank you.
But yes, yeah,
Uh,
that's right. That's an interesting commercial model to figure out.
Thanks, everybody. Sorry, I apologize for cutting this off, but we have our next founder waiting and we're a little over. But happy to connect any of you with Vijeta with follow-up questions. Thanks so much, Vijeta.
Sure, I'll be
Seems like
very
a
happy
really
to
interesting
showcase
product.
our. I'll be very happy to showcase our demo if somebody is interested, and that's when you'll really see how the rubber hits the road.
Yeah, happy to connect you like post this. Thank you so much, Vijeta. All the
Sure,
best.
anytime. Thank you. Bye bye.
All the best.
Apologies, guys, we're running a little bit late. Sorry for that, but just wanted to introduce our next and final founder, Anupma, who's going to talk about her product, Client Joy. Hi, Anupma. Apologies for the wait. Over to you. You're on mute.
Yeah, just allow me a minute. So can you see my screen? I'm actually, sharing it. Once it's done,
It's coming
I
up.
can start.
Yes, yeah.
It's coming up, right? Okay. So
Can see it now,
first of
Anupma.
all, yes. And okay. So first of all, thank you for inviting me. Thank you, IvyCamp, and to all the lovely ladies who are present here. Thank you for taking time. Like taking time out. So and happy Women's Day to all of you. So and congratulations for reaching where you are in your life today. And I'm sure that you will be inspiring a lot of women around you. So it's a, happy to connect you on Women's Day. So I'll start my presentation. So I am Anupama. So I am co-founder of Client Joy. So I look after the products. I'm chief of product here. So at Client Joy, we help over 4,000 agencies and creators, freelancers in 90 plus countries to grow their business and manage their clients. So before I jump to about like Client Joy, I would like to just share with you like what happened. So basically, if you will, what has changed during pandemic in the whole market. So what we have seen is that like the pandemic, what it did is like it introduced a lot of freelancing work into the market. A lot of people started their own businesses, small independent. Some became freelancers, some became consultants, coaching. So people who are highly skilled and talented. So for example, somebody is very good at design development, or maybe accounting, photography. So they started their own small independent businesses. They started there are a lot of platforms accessible where they can put about, they can get jobs, gigs, and can start working on them. A lot of people who are good with public facing roles, they become coach, consultants, they became creator, they started doing YouTube sessions and everything. And then what we also see that like a lot of companies also started now giving work to these small agencies. So by agencies, what I mean is that everybody who is outsourcing, uh, or so what we have seen is that like with the every coming year, there is a lot more increase into these kind of small independent businesses who give their services to bigger clients or smaller clients. So okay, so how I'll just tell you like how these guys actually operate. So they have a lot of, sorry, before that I missed one point. So why this is happening is that a lot of people are choosing flexibility due to coding. So they can choose the projects they want to work on. They can choose in this like the kind of people they want to work with. They can earn more compared to what they earn in their jobs. They can work from wherever they want, and they also have an improved quality and work-life balance. So people in the coming generations, they are actually valuing these things and choosing these options more. So how these guys actually manage their businesses? They are smaller teams, maybe 2 people, 3 people, 4 people team. They are taking multiple projects at a time, and they are using multiple tools to manage the whole business, right? So they would be using minimum of a four, 5 tool. So they will be using a CRM for managing their sales pipeline. They are using documentation tool to manage their inventory. They are using
Anupma, I think your internet just froze. Let me just, we'll just reach out to Anupma, just a minute. That's the downside of this Zoom and online. Just give me 1 minute to, we'll just call her quickly and let her know she's frozen. Yeah, she'll reconnect. On a completely like unrelated note, one of my nieces, I think last year I was on like a Zoom call and she could hear me say, it's frozen, it's frozen. And she comes in saying, I thought you were working. Are you watching Frozen, that movie? And I had to explain, no, I'm not watching a movie. um, yeah, she'll join back in a minute. While she joins in, I know, Malini had also kind of raised this to me, even though we're doing kind of this woman founders on Women's Day, it's interesting. Suddenly there's so much attention on this like one day, and you wonder like, why like one day, why can't we have this kind of more often? So, we're trying also to kind of make efforts to get work with more like women founders. It's actually interesting. Like, we do a lot of work kind of finding, when we do these on different themes, and it was actually harder than I thought to kind of find good women founders. Like even today, when you have so many more, it was actually like tough finding, like you find women in startups, but not necessarily kind of women co-founders and not necessarily women co-founders in tech solutions. So, I always feel really surprised. It always seems to be like a revelation to me that it's so hard. So,
So
if you guys,
Anju,
And
yeah,
try
go.
finding them in B2B tech.
yeah,
So
that
I've
is
been
like
trying to do
even
that,
worse.
and it's a whole different ball game there. So enterprise tech and women co-founders or founders are very difficult to find.
So
Shruti, you were saying?
interestingly, Anju, I'm actually sitting in an IIT currently, as
Ah,
we speak, and I got to interact with a few researchers this morning. A lot of women researchers
nice.
doing cutting edge research, but there is still a large gap for them to productize the
Yeah.
solutions that they are building. I mean, the stuff that they are coming up with is mind blowing, but there is still a longer way for them to get into the commercialization process. So I'm not sure, how soon or whether there is even a possibility for us to build that bridge. But if we can start laying the bricks, I think we'll soon get there.
Yeah, no, it's a struggle, not only Shruti for women, but I think research in general. Like at IvyCamp, we try to connect, a lot of our alums because the best way to get that connection is like through an alum. But even that it's very hard. It's not like smooth. I mean, we've been trying to do that over a few years, but just haven't been able to kind of successfully, one off may work, but, to streamline that process is like really, really hard. Um, but still we're trying. I mean, and I think even though this online thing has helped a little bit, but there is still like a ways to go. Anupma just needs another minute. I just saw a message. She'll just take another minute to join. But
Anju, I
it
have
is a
to
struggle.
apologize. I'll have to drop off in
That's
another,
okay, Tina.
5 to 7
No, no
minutes.
worries.
Sorry.
Thank you for being there. No, I apologize for running late. I think she's just joining back.
Okay. I'm really sorry for this. I don't know. My laptop just went off. Okay, so I will, I'll be continuing over on my phone till, my laptop actually starts back. Is it really
Sure,
sorry for
sure.
this?
Go ahead. No
Yes.
worries at all. I will just talk through it. No worries.
Yeah. So that's what I'm doing till it starts back. Okay, so I was telling you about, basically how these freelancers basically operate. So what happens is they use multiple tools to manage their business. So if you are a agency business, you are supposed to be focusing on like the problem that you are solving for your client. But what happens is like there are so many efficiency out there. Because of that, what happens is you spend a lot of time into because of these mismanaged tools into managing these things. So, for example, what happens is the challenges because of this they face is that they do not have visibility into uh, when is which project completing, how many like sales or revenues they are going to get. So they have problem in predicting their sales. They are not able to collect payment on times. They do not have systems to send reminders, follow-ups, collect payments. So what happens is it creates issue into cash flow management, and agency has this is a very bigger problem for smaller agency to manage their cash flow, because they do not generally work on a lot of margins. And when they work on margins, what happens is because of a lot of mismanagement or not having insights into where your revenues are going, there is a lot of gaps, and which they do not count for, and which creates cash flow problems. They also, the communication is also spread out. So they would be using a project management tool, but they will be updating their clients on WhatsApp or over emails. So like what happens is they do not have one place where they can go and see what is happening with this client, with this lead, with this project. At the same time, the client that agencies have, they also do not get a very professional experience out there. So which creates trust issues with the client. So here, ClientJoy helps these kind of agencies over there. So we have a tool which actually, helps businesses to grow their business, to manage their clients, and to, manage their finances. So we help them into closing leads, sending proposals, signing contracts, offering like agencies to give visibility to their client into what is happening in the projects, creating that transparency. We give systems to actually for invoicing, payment collection, sending reminders. We have also a strong integration systems which allow them to connect ClientJoy with any other application that they will be using to manage their business. So we have seen that like a lot of agencies are coming to us. Like they are also moving from some very popular systems like HubSpot, Pipedrive into our product. So why we are doing this business is because we were also an agency some time back. So me and my husband Yash, so both of us are actually founders of ClientJoy. So we used to run a agency which is into web design development, application development. So these kind of services we used to offer for e-commerce, fintech. So we have great experience into creating products and understanding those markets as well. So we grew our team from like two of us working to a 55 people team, and in that whole journey we experienced all these challenges, and we realized that there are tools out there in the market which actually like Salesforce, SAP. So these are actually good for services companies which are very big in nature. The smaller agencies, they are actually still working on Excel sheets, emails, WhatsApp, which is which is very with this. Because of that, it creates a lot of inefficiencies into their operations, and which sucks up a lot of time, which they should be actually spending on their clients' problems. So that is why we built ClientJoy. We realized that there is a gap in the market which actually needs addressing. And today we are a 22 people team where we are building ClientJoy, and we have been able to hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, Anupma.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay, my presentation is also there. That's good. Yeah, so that was me.
I think we are
So,
on your Imagine slide. I hope that's the slide you wanted us to see.
no, it's okay. You can actually, okay, what I will do is, can you full screen this presentation? There are one to two things that I wanted to show. So we have got some screenshots of the application which we can show. So we are a SaaS product, so we work on subscription basis. Yes, if you can go next. Thank you for helping me out. Yeah. Uh, Next, if you can go. So there are on the next slide. Yeah. So you can see the one before this, which was saying managing sales. Yeah. So what ClientJoy does is that it allows people, these kind of agencies, freelancers, to manage their sales pipeline. So you can see that people can actually, manage their sales. So we are integrated with a lot of systems. So what happens is, if you are capturing a lead through Facebook, if you are capturing a lead through your website, anywhere else, you can actually directly get that inside your inside ClientJoy. And then from here, you can connect your mailbox. You can start, seeing all the communication that are happening with them. At the same time, you can do the communication. And this could be this is, if the lead is shared between people, they can actually see all the notes, all the files, everything that has happened. So we also provide like email tracking. People can create proposal, can templatize them, send them to these leads. They can know like when it is opened, how much time did the person spend from where it opened. So all those kind of insights we also offer, which they help them actually know into knowing whether this lead is a hot lead or cold lead. After that, within a one click of button, they can actually convert this lead uh, into a customer. So the proposals that we send, or any document that an agency created, could be quotes, estimates. It can be digitally signed in ClientJoy. So that gives like a good amount of commitment they get to know from the agencies. If you can go to the next slide, ma'am.
Hi, Anupama. Since we have the time restrictions, can you finish within 2 minutes? Then we can go to the
Sure. I'll be done in 2 minutes. Yes. Like people can manage, agencies can manage their clients. If you can go to the next. Yeah, so they can also have manage their finances. So we can close the presentation now. We can take the question and answers. Yeah, so how we one thing that we allow agencies to do is also that we allow them to completely customize ClientJoy. So what happens is that they can put their own logo, their own branding. So we have a client portal where they can customize it, and anything that they want to share with the lead or client, they can do it over there in their own branding and with their own emails, their own colors. Yeah, I can take questions.
So, Nupma, can you tell a little bit about examples about some clients you may have and how
Yes.
they benefited from ClientJoy?
Yes, sure. So we have clients, who are running multiple businesses, multiple brands, simple ones, who are into designing, development. They are into, maybe coaching, consulting. So how they benefit is that, like, they have one place. First of all, they don't have to spend like a lot of money into 5 or 6 different tools, which are not designed for small agencies. They are designed for bigger agencies, so which are out there in market. So for example, if you go to HubSpot, if you go to Pipedrive, there are much more like that. So go high level CRM and everything. So what happens is they are paying for like 50 functionalities, but they actually need just like the ones that they need are like 10 or 15. So it takes a lot of, it is not economical for them to use. And same thing happens for like 5 different tools. And then they have to also do the work of patchwork of, like syncing things from one app to other apps. So ClientJoy actually helps them to bring all that, like all that into one place. So from the sales to client management. So the agencies can have a visibility of everything in one place. So first is that, and second is that we help them into insights, powerful insights into what is happening. That if people are opening the mails, not opening the mails, if they are opening the documents, they can digitally sign it, they can templatize their business processes, their business documents, which they can easily send it to the next lead that they get. Third is they can customize, which they love. We don't love to speak like client everywhere, so they can actually put their brand, which is something which is very liked in agencies of Europe and America that we have. So they like to be very professional, so they love it. They can put their own brands and colors when they are communicating to their leads and clients.
So Anupam, I have two questions for you. One is with respect to CRMs which are out there already. So have you explored a couple of plugins from the existing CRMs into your platform? I mean, either for using some functionality which is already there and not having to create it from scratch. Like for example, DocuSign. It may be helpful to sign, templatize, and send an envelope and things like that. Because a lot of these SaaS platforms also offer APIs versus building it from scratch. So, what has your experience or takeaway been with respect to build versus integrate?
Yeah. So the things that uh, so what we have done is that we also have to measure when we are charging our customers how much we can charge ourselves, whether. So there are things which we have, I would say, taken help of. So for example, the mailbox syncing that we have, that you can sync your sales inbox into Client Joy, where you can see the sales mails, you can link them with leads and conversations. So that part, I would say, we have not built in ourselves. The digital signature part we have done. So I would say that at the same time, there has been a lot of ask into people that, you do this, you do that. So what we preferred the way is that we made our public, our APIs open. We integrated with a lot of IFTT services like Zapier, Pabbly. So there are 4 or 5 which we integrated with. So which allow, people to actually, merge ClientJoy into their own, business processes and cycle. So we have not done everything at all, but the CRM part, I would say that we have done the documentation, that you can create documents. So because we wanted certain functionalities, insights, which according to us, so we have not done that. We also have a system which is for appointment booking. That is something that we have leveraged some other tools into our Simplex. It is something like Calendly, where agencies can publish our forms, our calendars into their websites, and from there they can get the leads, they can get the appointments. Payments we have not done ourselves. We have integrated with systems like Payoneer, PayPal, Stripe, Instamojo, Razorpay. So they just connect their account with our invoicing system and can start receiving one-click payments.
Thank you, Anupama.
Yes.
Any other questions?
So I have just one question, Anupama, in case there is time.
Go ahead,
So
Arjun.
from what we hear is that you're going after a particular TG or niche in an otherwise space, which is there are quite a few other players, right? And you're creating your niche. So have you done any kind of market sizing in terms of how big is the TG or the market that you're looking at?
Yes. So the industry is, like 10 billion actually. 10 billion is the market size that is there. And so there are players into this segment, I would say. So there are tools like Dubsado. There is a tool called Honeybook, which is into there. But still, the market is, I would say, very big. And there is still a lot of new creators, agencies still coming into the market.
So this 10 billion would be for the TG that you are looking at? The specific niche that you are looking at? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Anupama, for this. We'll definitely follow up if anybody has any other questions. Thanks to all the panelists. Thank you, Shruti, so much.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Just let us know. We're happy to connect you to any of the founders. And thank you all. Looking forward to seeing some, if not all of you, at our next kind of showcase. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank
Please
you,
reach out
Anju.
to us
Thank
for
you.
any follow-ups. Most welcome. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you for organizing this. Wonderful to see, a lot of very energetic pitches today. Happy to reconnect and, get more
Awesome.
insights into what Ivy Camp has been, because we are also looking to engage more and more with, startups that can play a very transformational role. So happy to
Great.
connect and explore.
We'll definitely do that. Thanks so much, Shruti.
Thank
Take care,
you.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.